Here at the Herb Tou podcast, we leverage time-tested sayings throughout the production of our show. This particular saying has never been more poignant than it is today. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce presents its 20th annual convention, United We Thrive. September 9th through September 11th, you do not want to miss it. It will include a who's who panel discussion moderated by Deborah O. Farmer, and then the following day, you'll hear from the teachings of Dr. Jeffrey Sterling, How to Manage Your Time. 72 hours in a day is the workbook that he authored. We'll go through that, we'll learn a lot, we'll improve outcomes in black culture by utilizing black voices. Make sure you join us September 9th through September 11th. United We Thrive. What up, what up, what up, what is happening, good people? Welcome to this very special edition of Herb Tou, alongside the artistic Tucson one. My name is Herb Howard. This is where we get together. We talk about issues that currently impact the black community. We talk about how those issues impact us as individuals and also how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome said issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but perhaps more importantly, at least for the sake of this conversation, overcome them as a collective. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. As always, your input is valued. Certainly appreciate it. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with at least one person that you think will add value to or find value in this particular conversation. Once again, this is Herb Tou. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Tou. Tou, what's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? I'm blessed and highly favored, man. How you?
Doing quite well, man. Doing quite well. Nothing to complain about. Pretty decent weekend, and then we got a very special show.
That's a leader shirt too.
Hey, man, look, don't worry about how I'm coming, Joe.
Disrespectful.
Don't worry about. This is not a leader shirt. This is not a leader shirt. This is cap. But this is a leader hat, man. Shout out to Vic. He had to collab with New Era, and they dropped this new hat. So I went over to the shop the other day.
Salute to
If
Vic,
you never
man.
been to the shop, it's on
I
at
gotta call
Madison
Vic
and
direct
Racine.
because Vic would have saved me a hat. Like my boy there, they grabbed
I didn't do that myself. I assumed it was gonna be a
Don't
lot.
worry about it. I'm tripping.
You seem like you're tripping.
No, I'm fine.
You getting real light skinned right now.
No, I was more light skinned, but I'm fine.
Okay. Is that what it is?
You know, hey.
My goodness. I heard they're gonna re-up and get you some more, so I'll let you know when
I'll
that
call
happens.
Corey or Vic direct because you know I can count on them. I can count on them people.
Anyhow.
Anyway, yeah.
You okay?
I'm fine.
You seem a little tight.
I'm not tight.
All right, whatever, man.
Pause. I don't know what you was going with that. I don't know where you going.
We're not finna start that. We're not finna start that.
I see how you try to lead into gate and stuff.
We're not finna start
anyway,
that.
man, let's go.
Yes, you.
I'm fine.
All right. As y'all can see, we got a very special episode planned out in the conversation for y'all, man. So we don't want to deal with two stuff much longer. Let me first introduce my fam. Sitting all the way to the right, she goes by Dr. Shadawn Boobie Battle.
I'm gonna leave so we could drop the doctor for now. I'm gonna leave and
no,
because that comes with a lot of responsibility.
No, it just comes with the acknowledgement of your intelligence, of the time that you put in to, craft your skill set and what you know, man. And I think you are one of the best writers and speakers that I know, and we ain't taking no sauce off of it.
It just reminds me
Dr.
of
Boobie.
$200K. That's all.
Yeah, well,
But appreciate you having me here again.
Nah, for sure. Appreciate you sliding through, for sure. It's always a pleasure to see you. Bumped into you the other day. Wheezy. Shout out to Wayne. Always out of his concert. It was thousands of people there, but I seen you.
Hey, you know what? I never knew that so many people of Hispanic descent are Wayne fans. It was 80%.
In there.
80%.
They was in
all
there.
of hip hop though. Any hip hop concert you go to is gonna be mostly white folks, Hispanic folks.
No, it wasn't mostly white.
It wasn't mostly white.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of Latinos.
But that makes sense to me.
It was in there.
Same thing. It ain't really nothing but black and white people.
This one cat
out of the other categories.
This one cat was Dolo sitting next to me, and he was on 50. Like every bar, I'm like, man.
To Boobie's point, though, right? Would you say it's a political declaration, right?
Facts.
And if you ain't on that side, you're on the other side. That's my philosophy.
I told her we quote that damn near every other show.
All the time, because it makes all the sense in the world.
It does. It does. It does. Also, in the building, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is here. Chairman, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, brother. Hey, it's good to be back. Good to be black with y'all. You know, been a while. Good to be here with Herb Tou, and also I'm gonna stress the doctor title because again, I think it's inspirational for a lot of people. You know, see a sister that break a lot of stereotypes. You know, doctor. You know what I'm saying? So we're proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
What's dope about you specifically being the doctor and having earned that tag is like everybody know you for being like such the regular neighborhood girl that kick it, that hoop, that footwork, that hang out, you know what I mean? And you are of this excellent elk. And it's like, well, damn, you could be a lot of things. You know what I mean? People try to put you in this box, that box, this box. One of the things I pride myself on is like, I'm a lot of shit. You know, I'm not just this or just that.
Yeah.
And I think you exemplify that in a lot of ways.
Honestly, this is the perfect space for me, intellectual thuggery, because I show up like this in the space that I teach in, right, in the ivory tower, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, this is a reflection of, like, the person I've become in the last 15 years or so. So
I love that. I can't wait till we play dinner time a little later.
So I got a question, right? And notice this is out of love, right? When I walked in the door, first question you asked me was about a book that's on the shelf, right? And you asked me, was I a fan of the author? And I asked you what you thought about it. You was like, I'm a fan of intellectualism.
Yeah.
Fuck with that.
Yeah.
Right? Interesting. Just in this opening conversation. We also subscribe to the Neely Fuller quote that says, until you fully understand white supremacy, everything you think you understand will only confuse you.
No, facts. I teach a class called Giving Whiteness a UTI. Understanding, theorizing, interrogating whiteness, right? And so people might say, like, man, why are we spending so much time talking about white people, right? Because global white supremacy, but not even just America. We got to talk about global white supremacy. We got to talk about white supremacy on a global level. Colonialism, right, as a facet of white supremacy and its far-reaching tentacles, right, and why we are still fighting the way that we are fighting today. I would not be sitting here with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., right, if global white supremacy was not a thing. 100 years ago, still today, and so, yeah.
But the in love part, right? So part of the branding and the dynamic of intellectual thuggery ain't a part of. It's all very purpose-driven, right? When we open the conversation, Dr. Shadawn about it, right? This is emphasis. I'm proud of you, and I am too, right? But how white supremacy works is it quantifies value through those kind of lenses.
Yeah.
Right? So those of us who achieve those kind of achievements, I think it's our duty to challenge that shit.
Yeah.
No. Right? No, I'm Boobie.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I keep it. That's part of the reason I keep Boobie. Yeah. I talk to Chairman all the time, and a lot of, his philosophy is like, no, we don't give a damn what's in a book. We live this shit. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I have to live both. I have to like divide, like, my perspectives so that I'm existing effectively in two worlds, and I'm merging those lenses in the best way that I can in the service of black liberation, though.
We've had that conversation a lot, and I've said it plenty of times. I think it's our responsibility for those of us who gain access into these spaces of minimal representation. It's absolutely our duty. It's our responsibility to show up in those places as authentically as possible. It's not enough to be like, okay, there's one more black face in these spaces, and also let me so desperately assimilate myself to where I don't even recognize me no more. No, I gotta come in these spaces, and sometimes it's gonna be Jordans and hoodies, and you're gonna see my neck tattoo, and like I think that is important. And we can speak, English at whatever level you want to. You know what I mean? But also finna and about to. You know what I mean? Just because. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. I find myself thinking about those things in another space. I cover the Bears, so I'm always at these press conferences, and sometimes I'm like, no, I'm gonna ask this question the way I would ask this question if we was on 71st and Jefferson. And I think that matters too. And once you've shown yourself to be worthy of the space or as good or better than everybody else in the space, now you can't really challenge me on what I'm saying, right? You can't really challenge me on you know I can do this as well or better than you. You know I can speak the King's English. You know I can do this job, all that.
Yes.
But also, you know what I mean? So the next time you see somebody, like, I don't want to be viewed as like this exceptional Negro is what I always say. I don't want to be viewed, like, I don't want you to think I'm so different from everybody else that's from over East. No, I'm very much like everybody else that's over East. You just don't fucking know us, and you ain't giving them the opportunity to come in these spaces because a lot of them went into these spaces and dominate too.
I just, you know, I was pointing out, I try to seize the time with certain examples. It's not a blanket position I take with people, because a lot of times, in most cases, people, they do attempt to assimilate, and that's in the race and the class contradiction. Like, last September, I got an honorary doctorate, and in certain arenas, even my flyers, I said, make sure you put that on there, because the reality is that, it was David Walker saying David Walker's appeal. The most intelligent of African descent can say something. It becomes a doubt or suspicion. But a white person from any walk of life says something, it's taken as a fact. And that's the reality. It's a sad reality.
The ice is cold.
Real talk. Especially when organizing, I tell people, you know what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? We playing to win. You know what I'm saying? And it's humbling the damage that's been done to our people. Like, you know, Field Marshal George Jackson said, capitalism not only affects the economy, but it affects the psyche of the people. And so, you know, so a lot of different arenas, we go in, like, different institutions. It's a joke they make about me to this day in the prisons. They say, man, Chairman Fred go to the Hebrew service, Vice Lord meeting, Stone meeting, Disciple meeting, still come out Chairman Fred. You know, the Rainbow Coalition. I see people they take it and they minimize. They really can't relate to it. They're gonna take it, they're gonna co-opt and run with it. I lay back and trip. You know what I'm saying? I say, man, because I mean, and everybody, I'm saying this humbly as I can. He was clear who he was. He was able to deal with the race and class contradiction in a city that was the most, and for all practical purposes, still the most top segregated city in, you know what I'm saying, in the country. But to do that, you're going, you know what I'm saying, deal with different dynamics, you know what I'm saying. And I see different, you know, like people minimize, oh yeah, that's good. I said, no, this wasn't no kumbaya, we all come together, you know. And there's certain people that I knew that was even in the Black Panther Party. And when I speak, I always tell people I distinguish those that was in the Black Panther Party and those that were Black Panthers. Big difference. When he would organize, who he would take with him on certain, you know, there was a strategy to it. When he would go, who he would approach. You know what I'm saying? And like, I said, we all in our different arenas, we have a certain amount of subjectivity. Like, you know, we just see the world through. I raised criticism with my mother. I said, you know what? I say, I think we even also have some subjectivity in us. Because I mean, when I was here captive, and they had showed the Spike Lee's version of Malcolm X, and I heard a guy upstairs say, man, that's what happened to him. I was like, damn, I just thought everybody knew about Malcolm X, you know. And so whatever arena you in, you have a certain amount of subjectivity. Like when Chairman Fred was going to be with the street organizations. And this is not a case, because, you know, the state done their thing, you know, the Panthers is another gang, so on and so forth. But he came with a politic, you know what I'm saying, that even so they said, no, he knows something different. You feel what I'm saying? And it's people that may be of the same organization, whatever, but to be able to recognize and say, no, this is that you internalize this. I can deal with these different degrees, I can deal with different titles, whatever situation, and still maintain who I am. And that's in particular our people. That's a difficult dynamic, you know what I'm saying? Because, so, you know, like different cultures, it's acknowledged different religious institutions, you know what I'm saying? Because like some people go in, you see they say a certain religious, and they think they that, and they black people, you know what I'm saying? This is something that we experience, the gender situation, because being us, a lot of people, they have the option to get away from being black. They'd be 100 miles of running.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? They can take the option, of relating to something.
I think black is painting with too large of a brush, personally. Right? I think we need to focus in on what that really, not even focus in, define what that really means.
So are you not a Pan-Africanist?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. And I don't even want a title. I don't even have a title. I'm not anti-African. I just think this is something different. It's something unique. And I think everybody else wears the cape. I think it's the political declaration you speak of. Yeah. Right? It's a lot of people who take on the social and cultural aspects of blackness, but when it comes to the political aspects of it, they don't want no parts of that shit. So if you ain't dealing with the political aspects of this shit, you ain't me. We are not the same. Because the political aspects of this shit set up the world for the social and all the other shit. All the shit you enjoy comes from the downtroddenness of our political definition.
And then I would argue, because part of what I do, since this is intellectual thuggery, part of what I do is like critical race epistemology. So I think about the ways that knowledge is produced, right? Knowledge producing practices, and who gets to create meaning and who doesn't, right? And that's huge when you add race to that conversation, because that means that this group gets silenced and they get spoken for. This group lacks representation, and if this group gets spoken for, then we can construct them in whatever subhuman ways that we want to, and then we can you know what I'm saying?
Then we can do whatever we want.
Like, realize they hold
unbridled violence. And so, like,
insurgents,
so
whatever.
like, but all of that. So the way that I can define you in the social, the way that I can define you in the political, has a lot to do with my access to knowledge and who gets to produce knowledge and who doesn't. So like, that's why that shit means a lot to me, to think about knowledge producing practices. That is,
it's critically important. I think it ties into what you're saying, like the same time. So when you talk about, you know, everybody wants the good part of what blackness is, right? So everybody want to enjoy the food, and everybody want to enjoy the music, and everybody want to do the dances and all that. Well, okay, that's cool. Do you want this fucking abuse that comes with it? Do you want the depression that comes with it?
That's been my argument with Chicago Footwork, right? And so, you know, that's part of our conversation today.
You make investments in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Man. Yes.
You a pirate too. Man. Your business is coming pirate just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
I struggle, man. I struggle. So no, I'm not that.
I want to ask you that, Bull, because you haven't always been at the forefront of footwork, and you're doing so many amazing things with it now. But one of the things that you're doing with it is like globalizing it, right? And taking it to spaces that it hadn't previously been before. Do you get any pushback on that? You got these white people footworking and shit.
But hold on. So I'm not responsible for its globalization, right? But I do go into some really white spaces and talk about the blackest art form that I know, right? Because the world is watching Cook County. Footwork Appreciation Month, which is declared, in July for this month, August, and that's one of the things that Commissioner Tara Stamp said. Like, the world is watching Cook County, right? The world ain't just watching Cook County because of our murder rates no more.
Nah.
You know, like the world is now watching, Chicago Footwork. But all this to say, I've given lectures in Lisbon. I've given lectures at the whitest institution on earth, UMass Amherst, right, on Chicago Footwork. But my goal is to talk about the material conditions of the people in Chicago, not its global existence right now. I think that's dope and all, but like, we have to talk about it, because it ain't an art form. Like, it's becoming more and more mainstream, but I always say in the work that I do, it's not an art form that was cultivated in Juilliard. We ain't talking about like these shorties, they ain't come from Juilliard, right? They were incubated in our bogus skating rinks. You know what I'm saying? Dilapidated storefronts.
In the politics of blackness.
Yes, right. In the politics of blackness, as it exists, as it manifests itself in this city, which is a nation unto itself in many ways, right? And so so one of the things that I think about is like all these white kids, from all over. Yeah, they had their own struggles, right? And it's not about an oppression Olympics, but like, when you can access Chicago Footwork through YouTube, you divorce it from culture. You divorce it from its material reality. So my role, especially every Chicago Footwork Appreciation Month, which ironically is called FAM, because a lot of them, they come from all over the UK. They come from, they come from Canada. They come from all over, and they are genuinely good people, and they are students of the culture. But you cannot just come and learn how to do an Erkin jerk, learn how to do a Mike-and-Ike, and not understand what happened to the plan for what happened with the plan for transformation and how that shaped Chicago Footwork when they tore down the projects. You know what I'm saying? And so like, so that's why I'm doing a lot of the work that I'm doing, so that they not just learning these routines. They learning about Chairman Fred, because the last Chicago Footwork Appreciation Month, we performed a reenactment of a showcase that we were working on at the time, and they got to learn about the history of the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. Right, and so that's the work that I'm doing. You can't just partake in this culture because it's dope as shit. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta take all of it.
You gotta take all of it. So yeah.
Love that. I love that.
Right on.
Let's get into this upcoming weekend, August 30th, 31st, big weekend. Obviously, Chairman Senior birthday this week. What y'all got going on?
Well, first, let me say, hey, this been the perfect introduction. Preface this dialogue we having. We got a saying with our organization, the Black Panther Party Cubs. That's an organization that we say is a tough act. The problem is carrying the legacy on the Black Panther Party.
Say that again, Chairman.
The Black Panther Party Cubs.
Mhm.
And we have one of our mentors said we are the great-grandchildren of Garvey, offspring of Malcolm, and the ideological Cubs of the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
Ideological Cubs. Sometimes they hear this, that means all y'all the children of the ideological Cubs of the Black Panther Party. And one of our sayings is that a lot of people are black when it's beneficial, play Panther when it's profitable, and claim to be Cubs when it's comfortable. Black when it's beneficial, play Panther when it's profitable, claim to be Cubs when it's comfortable. I'm hearing, and I'm thinking back on so many, whether it be hip hop, footwork, whatever dynamic, you know. And we had this. Our community been so destabilized, and then a lot of times people have issues with structure. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of times our people's first concept of structure has come through the state or the ruling class. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bad first initial contact. One of America's policies is to create chaos and then restore order. Create chaos and restore order.
Yeah.
You go, and it's attractive to say, oh, that's good. We all together. You know what I'm saying? And that's. Like I said, a lot of brothers, they just agree with me. They say, man, I said, man, principle unity. You don't play basketball, just go out there and say, okay, hit the court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't draw the foregone conclusion. Everybody want the same thing. They say, like when Phil Jackson went to the Lakers, he said, he hit the post. They said, hold up. Kobe initial interest was getting MVP. Right. They said, hold on, let's be clear. We're trying to win the game. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And so when you can hop, you can hop in and jump in and say, okay, I'm black this way, and you open, even right now, this discussion or this phenomenon, the YNs. Mm-hmm. We open every other peer with the ruling class of state to give us tag us a different name. You know what I'm saying? And you just in a family example, say that's the Jones family right there. If you just pop out, you know what I'm saying? It's certain experiences come with the Jones that distinguish them from the Smith family. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then you have to take into account conditions, time, and so on and so forth. Other communities have a acknowledgement, like you look at situations like Korea, when U.S. is going in Korea, Kim Il-sung and others, they made it clear, say, no, you're dealing with the South Koreans. That's not North Korea. You know what I'm saying? Even in Vietnam. Distinctions. Mm-hmm. But we're told to see, Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh and GI made it clear. But we're told to not acknowledge contradictions. You know what I'm saying? And that's, but reality is, that's, I'm quoting this UAP News, said that contradictions are the ruling principle of the universe. They are the ruling principle of the universe. Like, even I said with the Black Panther Party, a lot of people say, with the movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, why would y'all mention the informers? There are informers in the Black Panther Party. Betrayal is in there. You feel what I'm saying? And we have to acknowledge that. Now, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. We want an objective definition of something. You know, so the good, the bad, and the ugly. We can't just cherry pick and say, okay, this person, this. We have to welcome conditions to see who is who. I tell people, say, contested conditions. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people be talking, Panthers used to call it murder mouthing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Chairman Fred was able to distinguish the Rally Panthers from the Paper Panthers. You know what I'm saying? There were certain periods of time he would say, okay, now let them cats go out there, do blah, blah. Then he said, okay, go clean house. Get that correct. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you need that big, bigger than life image. Yeah. But you got to be clear. You know what I'm saying? We have to struggle for a definition of, you know what I'm saying, who we are as a people. And we have to welcome again those contested conditions, you know, because it's.
I love that. Contested conditions.
Contested conditions. I use an analogy. A lot of people say, man, I ain't never told nobody else. Police never asked you nothing either, though. You know what I'm saying?
Put them in that role.
You know what I'm saying? I tell people, I grew up in a city where under contest, this ain't some sort of, dynasty, like, oh, yeah, that's his son? You the chairman too. Oh, no. They contested conditions. Let's see what you're going to do in the Supermax and Tams. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how you're going to hold your weight. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Cook County Jail. With a phone, that's the folks' phone, it's the people's phone. You know what I'm saying? The guard come on there. She tell the guy, how is that guy sleeping down on the bottom deck this day, sleeping up there on that deck the next day? I come there, they say, man, he for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Under contested conditions. They say, this man is Chairman Fred. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we have to welcome that. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, and I'm honored to be. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't come and say, okay, yeah, I'm Fred. I'm Chairman Fred's son.
What's the cost?
Let me go ahead. I struggle though, Chairman. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really struggle with that contested condition shit in this moment in time. Because I could understand the contested condition shit if you got a formidable identity or formidable structure to contest. We don't have that shit. Even if we go like the something simple as nigga, you ain't gonna snitch because you ain't been locked up by nobody. Right?
Yeah.
But even if we just go back, 20, 30 years, us and the new generation, what they would call the YN.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You couldn't be on the block saying you was this or that and didn't know no lit.
Yes.
These motherfuckers don't even know what lit is.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So there's no structure that they're even aligning to.
I agree.
Right? So there is no line that you can step. The whole shit is over the line.
I mean, we damage. That's what I tell people. We damage. But also, there's some of us who are destroyed. You feel what I'm saying?
I agree.
So of course, like I tell people when I was locked up, I had to minimize what I was doing, but I still was organizing. You feel what I'm saying? So though these conditions, I agree with you. You know, I tell people about Chicago all the time. I said, listen, though it's corroded, you can still see. It's still a different dynamic than other places. Chicago was the last major city that crack cocaine was able to be introduced in. You know what I'm saying? They had to destabilize the structure. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain remnants of it still. It's not what it wanted, the desired point, but we just don't abandon all. You know, so there's certain dynamics like you say, okay, man, this you say, hold on, that's still a core of it. You know, so like it's certain. You look at the Muslim community, they have them locked up. You say, man, it's certain things that they locked up. You say they do this, but that's still you can distinguish the Shiites from the Sunni Muslims. You know what I'm saying? There's certain.
I use the gang analogy.
Yes.
But I wasn't talking about the fucking gangs.
Yes.
I'm talking about us as a people. Right? Even in context to the shit Trump talking about with the National. Fuck the National Guard. It ain't the National Guard. Everything he's fucking done thus far. Right? The writing is on the wall for the larger plan. And it ain't a Trump plan.
Yeah.
It's a fourth economic revolution of America plan. We don't need you motherfuckers no more.
Yeah. You said who you talking about?
Us.
Who?
Black folk.
Poor
people.
No.
Poor people, really.
But in particular, this reactionary, he's the capitalist race has been the top two.
They connect.
Let's go with that.
They connect.
One thing that's embarrassing and humbling, because a lot of times, in a lot of cases, I hate to say it, the ruling class helps reinforce those definitions. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? They help, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I said. Again, my point, like doing the class piece of John F. Kennedy, it was a class piece. You know what I'm saying? He worked at the same John F. Kennedy that brought army tanks to the south side of Chicago. Same John F. Kennedy that had his brother Robert Kennedy put the wire top with Dr. King. But it was a class piece. When Nixon came in, pulled the covers up, said campaign for law and order. If
we ain't got to go John F. Kennedy, we can go Joe Biden.
No. This is. I'm with you. I'm gonna put you niggas in jail.
Then you say the black president.
You're right. But I'm going. A lot of times that's too hot to handle for a lot of cats. I'm going. Sometimes like even history, you go back and go.
I'm with you.
They can relate to it. That situation, it forced a dynamic. With the still saying distinguish the street organizations, revolutionary organizations. Because before they everybody named Mama, when that campaign, man, one of the street organizations, their main saying in the 60s was, the police come for us, they take you to jail. They come for the Panthers, they'll kill you. It was those conditions help. You know what I'm saying? Those contested conditions help
define the
exactly. So that's my point. We welcome this. Like this time we in right now. Let's do this trumpet. You seen it cast that. You know what I'm saying? If you go back years ago, it's found everybody. Oh yeah, there's a vagueness. It's a vagueness. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter. There's no slight on different groups, whatever. No slight on it. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But the deal is that certain conditions that enforces that structure. And we have been taught to believe that they have a disdain for structure. See, Sheikh Al-Tadiya gives us the uniqueness about our people, uniqueness about us. We can work in harmony with contradictions. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be gender differences, we can hop on the elephant in Kenya. Go where we going. We ain't got to detusk them. We ain't got to kill them. There can be different street organizations. That could be when Chairman Fred organized Rainbow Coalition. One of the unique dynamics. You know what I'm saying? When you go meet the leadership of the Blackstone Rangers, Jeff Ford, that Chief Ali, when he met with them, they heightened the conflict with Jeff out of his mouth. Said, "Man, we about the people too, but we about making money." A lot of people sit with this position like, "Man, come on, you got to talk to these kings. You got to make them." No, acknowledge that contradiction. Say, "Okay, now what points of unity can we move on?" You feel what I'm saying? When he was going through the FBI told the vice lords, they gave him 16th Street. If they come up with free medical center, he didn't try to make them become revolutionaries. He said, what kind of revolutionary act can they commit? One, work the free medical center. You know what I'm saying? This is dealing with the real world, acknowledging contradictions. So when the state come with those attacks, that heat, I tell people, if we could, you learn yourself, You learn of the people, and it can be buried up under there. I'm with you. Because on the front, believe me, I get demoralized sometimes. Talking to, but then I see certain dynamics. I say, oh, okay, yeah. You can see, it's kind of like that knowledge they use in Africa. Say, when them cats pouring a little drink out before they drink, say, damn, that libation thing still is in them. You know what I'm saying? It's still, they ain't not destroyed. Some of us are destroyed.
I think that's why it's important when you acknowledge the history, but also marry it with today. I think what both of y'all are saying, I think makes it critically important that we contest conditions now, right? Because like I'll be saying, I'm kind of past this space, and it's just me, kind of past this space of like trying to reach people and convince people that this is what we should be doing. I'm more focusing my energy on finding the people who's on what I'm on and trying to build with that, and then hopefully we can get everybody else involved. And I think to that point, contesting those conditions of what is your blackness in terms of political declaration.
I'm not saying that's contesting.
I'm saying the conditions are going to present themselves regardless.
I'm not saying that we could welcome the state, the system. See, and it's a different dynamic. When that ruling class comes, it's different with each other, challenging each other. When that listen, a lot of cats, like I've been telling different people, say, man, that's not the Black Panther Party. Man, I can do it. One quick story, Menard Penitentiary, Menard Prison. When I got there, this guy was doing these envelopes, selling envelope Panthers on them and everything. It's called them Black Panther. I said, brother, let me holler at you for a minute. Man, I can do what I want to do. I heard who you is. Like, okay. 2 days later, God be my witness. When them boys came in alphabets to the back of their vests, their jackets, carrying them about their cell, he said, man, who are you? He said, I'm not up with that, man. You know what I'm saying? It was another group. Years ago, 2004, we fought down the street after Chairman Fred. They were saying they was Panthers. When the heat came down us, they get on Michael Schnee, Chicago Sun-Times, and said, man, Chairman Fred is not part of our organization. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the state heat. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing. See, with us, we didn't debate with each other.
Yeah, but don't you think that type of heat is already ever present in our environment? Don't you think they set the standard for what culture is, for what the standards are? We strive to be.
America's so Machiavellian with it. Now's the time right now when you see the covers being pulled off. You'll say it's a rawness to it. That's the God.
Sorry, it ain't even Machiavellian though, right? It's my business. You gonna negotiate? It's the man who's selling the shit just like me. This white. You ain't asking for a deal. You align different to the power. It just is what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You afraid of that. So it's just like, yeah, I ain't no snitch until a motherfucker who can put you in a situation to have a punishment for your snitch behavior that you start nutting up, right? You will buy cookies from me at a discount and go to Jules and pay the exact price.
But some people lies like that. Some people they call it telling the competition. You know what I'm saying? See, one of the disadvantages of our community is a non-acknowledged war. Other communities say, okay, like in Nazi Germany, they say Nazi Germany created the ghettos. The script is told us that we created the ghettos. Other communities, they have terms like propaganda bombs. If they played that slop hop to any other community, it will be referred to as propaganda bombs. You know what I'm saying? We're deprived of terms like concentration camps, political prisoners. That's what you'll say. A lot of that term, man, political, other communities, the flags, Cinco de Mayo, Puerto Rico Day Parade, the flag. We got a lot of cats say, man, Chairman, we ride around the flag, man. Listen, I'm intentionally, August 30th, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be at the Chicago River with a bag of charcoal. Calling for every August 30th, turn Chicago River black. It's a strategic political move. You know what I'm saying? The Irish, the pipe fitters, the unions, turn the water green on St. Patrick's Day. You know what I'm saying? And I told this one brother who I found out he wasn't black. Because I said, man, we ain't got nothing. Oh, we got Juneteenth. I said, are you serious? I said, are you serious? Let's be upfront. See, certain people have a cover this facade. This guy gets so intense, you start saying, oh, hold on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me see who is who, man. Man, we need something to identify in certain conditions. This is the time right now where they pull the covers, they start using terms. We've been the terms like the hurricane, we call it Hurricane America, not Hurricane Katrina. You know what I'm saying? They was up front and they were all telling you. And at certain time, you said that Machiavelli, man, stuff that we cognizant of, man, believe, like I told my mother,
this conversation, just to kind of integrate, like kind of what we both doing. So imagine, a shorty who footworks, 20 years old, Chicago public schools. Did graduate from high school, but really just in not necessarily a street guy, but in the streets because you blacking in Chicago, and so you don't have that political consciousness, but you're interested in this work. So I had a residency with the National Public Housing Museum. 2023, 2024, I was the artist instigator resident, and the project was titled Place-Based Works. And I wanted to use Chicago Footwork to investigate Chicago's history of not just violence, but violence associated with home place, the places that's supposed to be the most sacred, the places that, that offer us refuge outside of patriarchy and racism and capitalism, even though those things do, enter into our homes, but those supposed to be our sacred spaces or whatever. And so I had 4 different topics that I was working on, and we were going to create Chicago Footwork choreo, and to produce a whole showcase. You attended the showcase, right? Yeah. And so, but I didn't just let them. I didn't just choose the shorties and say, show me some footwork in response to these topics. Like, they had to undergo real political education, right? So if you watch the movie, most people who understood how to become, a Black Panther at its most elemental level, right? You have to develop a consciousness around Black existence, Black resistance, and they did just that. So this conversation, imagine this level of intensity. Yeah. Because a kid said, "Hey, we was in the Hampton House Museum," which I want them to talk about. One of the shorties said, "Hey, in a movie when they had killed Fred." Why he say that? Because his point, right? So he said all of that plus a bunch of other stuff. Gave El Chapo as an example because they honor El Chapo. Sure. He wasn't even a revolutionary. I think that was a direct quote. So he was like, hold on. He stopped the entire tour to say the point of it was that we have to honor the political function of rhetoric, of words, right? Because he wasn't just anybody can be killed, but he was assassinated because of the work that he was doing, because of the medical centers, because of the creating his own institutions, other than free medical centers, breakfast program, and uniting the underclass of people. So he was assassinated because he was a revolutionary. So he got a real education, political education, right? And so we use that in the showcase. And that's kind of the work that I'm doing. Like, I'm heightening the consciousness of the everyday people. So when you said, I kind of just want to move forward with the people who already like me, I want to do the same thing too, because that's the easier path. But it's so many people that we you know what I'm saying? I feel like we got to bring along.
That would leave too many people behind.
But yeah, I do, because if you think about the Haitian Revolution, if you think about that was the only successful Black revolution. Yeah. The next closest to that was, in my opinion, and I don't know if you agree, Chairman, was the Black Power movement, right? Yeah. And in the late 60s and 70s. And so the masses, right? So Fanon would say it's the masses because they have the least to lose. You got to have the masses. You got to raise the consciousness of the people on the ground, right? Because they have the least to lose, so they're going to fight the hardest.
You're on point with that, and there's 2 things I want to just acknowledge about what you just said. And one, you started off telling the story of the 20-year-old foot worker having grown up in the Black Chicago experience. And then you bring that all the way around to Chairman Fred Sr., assassinated at 21.
At 21.
Having done all the shit that he had done. Yeah. And it's like, that type of consciousness has to be still present in the 20 and 21-year-olds somewhere. Yeah. And I think that is important.
And he had watched the movie. That was a start. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was a start for me. So he's referencing different things from the movie, and he's making connections as we're in the Hampton House Museum. But now, after that experience, he also learned that I have to be really careful about the words that I choose. We also had a conversation about how to nuance our perspective of William O'Neill, right? And so one of the shorties in the show who plays William O'Neill, he says, I was no match. I was only however old he was, but I was no match for the FBI. Right. Plus, I had my own legal struggles. Right. So we called it black and white, but it really wasn't a black and white thing, right? He was co-opted by the state. You know what I'm saying? What was he gonna do? Obviously, we want to say, no, nigga, you should have been 10 toes down 100%. With the movement. But
the reality is,
Chairman didn't even have us put him on the hat. everything we did in that showcase, where the reenactment of the assassination of his father and that history was concerned, we had authentic Panther flags, right? He said no, he can't have a briefcase, or he can't wear this because he was not like politically in tune with where the Panthers were at that time. You know what I'm saying? With the movement at that time, he wasn't there. And so we having those conversations. So I'm having these conversations with footworkers who otherwise wouldn't have these conversations at all. So my role is to, like, how can I grab a few at a time and heighten the consciousness? Obviously, we need resources to do that, but
I was so impressed by how, on the showcase part, that was the other thing I wanted to acknowledge about what you said. It was the authenticity of it, right? So I'm from Chicago, you know what I mean, in the real way. I've been seeing footwork my whole life, right? But beyond the extent of knowing who going off and who not going off, it never really spoke like a, I mean, you could tell when somebody was like angry or when there was a battle and it was happy. So I guess it did speak that way. But to have the genuine emotions that you were intending to convey come across on stage was something different that I experienced. And you can see that in the footwork. You could tell that they were honestly and accurately expressing, you know, these black feelings, these black experiences through footwork. And I was like, damn, this is cold as hell. Because I've seen like other cultural dances, whether you talk about natives or, you know, back on the homeland, like, you've seen these dances, it's like you could tell this dance is saying something even if you don't necessarily know. But in this, for the black experience, to know what it's saying and to see it, I was like, this is cold.
Because footwork is already an aggressive ass art form, right? Because it's created in our dungeons, right? It's actually one of the first footwork cliques, one of the first, right? I gotta get out of superlatives. That'll get you in trouble in the footwork world. But one of the first footwork cliques, it was called the dungeon. You know, so when you are bred in a culture like this, right? Like, you know, so the whole kings and queens thing, that becomes a whole different politics of Chicago footwork culture I could talk about later. But like, so to be called a king or a queen of Chicago footwork culture, that's important because you've experienced some what I would consider subjective negation in this city. Where your subjectivity is not even in existence anymore, right? So, but amongst this culture, you get to redefine yourself and reconstruct an identity, and you become like your existence matters, right? Your matter matters. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's like, all right, well, how can we take it past that, becoming kings and queens? Because that actually caused harm, in my opinion, to the Chicago footwork culture. Because you don't just have a king or a queen. What has to happen if you have a king or a queen?
Have a court.
You haven't had a court, you've got to have some peasants.
Peasants.
Yeah, and so that caused a lot of problems, right? That caused a lot of disparities in the footwork culture, in my opinion. But like, yeah.
What's the dungeons you mentioned?
So the dungeon was, it was a space where this particular battle clique was formed, and like it was in a basement. And the basement was like a dungeon. They called the shit the dungeon, you know. And so that was like the 90s. But yeah, I think that there's a lot that we can do to integrate an art form that young people love so much in this city, right? So to merge that world and the world of black political life. Because your existence, y'all know my theory is that, like, I still agree that blackness is inherently political. Right? And so, like, we live in these apolitical lives as if, like, all this shit ain't happening. All these laws ain't being passed that's directly affecting us. Now we paying attention, but, like, at first we wasn't. It took Trump for people to say hold on, I'm black.
I want y'all to get back into some of the passionate discussions, but I don't want to, hold on. I don't want to go further without putting out what's actually happening this weekend. That's what I was asking you. You got excited, then he got excited, then you got excited, he got excited. What is happening this weekend, on the weekend of August 30th, 31st?
August 30th. This will be the 77th birthday of Chairman Fred. He's not been assassinated, along with Defense Gunner Mark Clark. Every year we have the annual Chairman Fred Streets Party. We go to what we refer to as Ground Zero, 2337 West Monroe / Chairman Fred Hampton Way. That's 12 o'clock noon. Everybody, we call brothers and sisters, they do it. Who locked up, they stop what they're doing, put the clenched fist up, 5 minutes. We go there.
It feel like a half hour. When I was out there, it felt like a half. My arm is heavy.
Was it December 4th, August 30th? Which one you was at?
It was cold, so it had to be December 4th.
Okay, right. So it's gonna be a little lighter. We'll do August 30th and December 4th. Those two major dates with us. And December 4th we be there. You know what I'm saying? A lot colder. But August, both times. But this August 30th, my mother and other survivors of December 4th, they'll be there. She gives a virtual tour. What happened December 4th? Take you through it. And blow by blow. And then we have solidarity statements. I had a Black Panther Party impact your life. You know what I'm saying? Members of the Black Panther Party talking about the breakfast programs, other survival programs. Then we always, every year we have a different theme. We got to try to put our ear to the ground. Like last year's theme for August 30th was the People's Convention. We studied it at the time. The Democratic Convention, the Republican Convention was a big thing. Before that, the folding chair was a thing. The Montgomery Brawl, Alabama. So we always try to. It serves as a community calendar.
August 5th.
Huh?
Yeah.
August 5th. Oh, right on. Yeah. So we try to keep our ear to the ground. Right on. We try to keep our ear to the ground and say, happy belated birthday too, brother.
My man.
We try to keep our ear to the ground to see, what's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And how can we communicate that to them? This footworking. As we speak, I'm learning more and more about this dynamic. So that's going to be the theme for this year. Also, I guess we let the word out too. This cat about the street being named in his honor. We tried this before in 2004, and let me be very clear. This ain't about like I said, just on the street saying everything we do is a strategy to it. Because I met in 2004 when Mayor Daley there was the mayor then, and they had fought it. Some people say, man, no, he know Chairman Fred on something else. Because it's a method to the madness. So this footworking is, so we going fishing. Like, take the phenomenon, get the people involved in the conversation, so on and so forth. So as we leave there, which Doc, they going to the youngsters, they're going to do how we refer to it.
So Play Space Works is going to perform at the first location on Madison and Monroe, and that's where you're going to have the news, right? Because they're going to be capturing the naming of the street right there, and other just political figures, and then the second location
Black Panther Party survivors.
Yep.
All of them will be there.
So we'll perform there, part of the showcase that you saw.
Yeah.
For a segment there, and then the second location is Madison and California. Ain't you proud of me knowing these streets? I'm South Side.
I am proud of you. I am proud of you. But
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something too. There's a contending event.
whose?
I'm not. No, it's a contending.
Okay.
This is what to my contested condition,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm telling the state is behind.
Mm.
This is good. So this is. I'm really biting my tongue up. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
And it's specifically on that day. We welcome these contradictions. It's causing for a lot of stuff to come out. It stinks, but it's a necessary conversation that we have to see who is who. This is a perfect example I'm talking about. There's a direct event contending this. Mm-hmm. And this ain't the first time this happened, but there's been times that on the same day, that groups, and a lot of some people don't even know it. It's like, damn, we just got the funding to do this the same day, y'all. But this is about, now again, nothing like the ruling class, the state.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of times people they don't even come in with no intention of doing something else. When you approach with it, you say, whoa. They got more trinkets and more lights on this one. Though. You said, let me say something about William O'Neill real quick. They had a psychological profile on him. They knew his father. See, we're talking about a culture of people, even with dogs. You say, man, why does cane corso act the way they do? You go back and study the history of the cane corso. They would put knives on their back and run them over on horses. You know what I'm saying? In war. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They study our lineage. They know our potential before we know our own potential.
Hmm.
That's some shit right there.
They O'Neill.
I'm playing fair, G.
I'm gonna say one more war story. No, Sunday we're gonna be in Maywood doing a free breakfast for Chairman Fred. Maywood 200 building. One real quick story, I'm in Cook County Jail. They locked in jail, and I said, this grew up with William O'Neill is being brought in. So everybody, I said, what's the hoopla? I said, I would like to. I love information. He just grew up with William O'Neill. They bring him on the deck. I say, man, tell me something I do. He said, you know what? I grew up with him. He said, man, his father was like, anything for a few dollars. He said, when I seen him later in life, I look back and had a different respect for your father and the Black Panther Party. I said, why is that? Now, mind you, talking about this is pre the Kardashians, pre plastic surgery. Do we know about it? He said, I didn't recognize him. Mm. He said, I thought, who is this organization that they went to do this man plastic surgery? Yeah. He grew up. He didn't recognize him. He said I had to go back and look at. You know what I'm saying? We went to his funeral to pay our disrespects. Come on, they said, oh, that ain't him. Later on, it was exposed by the plastic surgery he gave him. See, to study something, you know what I'm saying, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's in relationships, that's in organizations, that's in the people. And you watch it again, ain't nothing like that ruling class contested conditions. We gotta acknowledge it and deal with it. And then I tell you, one of the best cellmates I ever had when I was locked up, one of the best cellmates I ever met when I was locked up was an individual by the name of Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I watched him. I watched him. I studied him in the Supermax. I watched him on hunger strikes.
What you learn about?
Contested conditions. I studied when the heat they came with it. I learned more about Chairman Fred, learned more about Field Marshal George Jackson. I learned a deeper appreciation for the Black Panther Party, organizing. You know what I'm saying? Man, the attacks. When they put me in cells with guys who try to kill themselves, and they took my they cell and brought up there and say, man, I talked to this guy. He said, man, you say you knew something. No, I'm Chairman Fred. He said, oh, they want me to kill myself. And it helped me recognize who I am. I learned more about me. See, the legacy of Black Panther Party, sometimes like you've been in a relationship, you take your lady for granted or your guy for granted. You see, if these other people try to holler at him, you're like, damn, what do I got here? What am I missing? What do I got here? So the attacks, when they would do stuff to me in the joint, when guys say, man, they took me to town Supermax, and they brought me out for the hearing. They did go to the hearing the first 2 days. When they went through my record, said, no assaults, no gang affiliation. Say, you be with this, you talk to everybody. She said, whoa, here, go right here. George DeTeller, director of the IDOC. You Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., you have the ability to organize. I said, whoa. At the ruling class mouth. If I had any doubts.
They had to tell you was a threat.
In reality, because I tell you, ain't nothing like that stated knowledge, like I said, at their own mouth. Say, the first, you go to Supermax, if you're a gang member, you're an assault. See, you pull the covers, let's get out to the nitty gritty.
Man, I'm having a bunch of thoughts in my head, right?
Let them go, brother.
Some of this shit I don't even want to express because I'd have to articulate it so perfectly because I know how to offend Boobie, right?
I
know I would. I know, and that's not my intent.
I got you.
Right?
Yeah.
Dr. Amos Wilson says, women come to the planet with intrinsic value, but men do not. Men do not have any intrinsic value. Right? So there has to be a rites of passage to masculinity, to manhood. Right? That don't have to happen for women. You come with a womb, your value is solidified. Right? But in order to become a man, you must master the environment in which you inherit. Right? You must if you're in a fucking farm environment, you better learn how to farm or your ass ain't gonna never make it to manhood. Right? If you're in a warrior environment, you better become a fucking warrior or you never become a manhood. Because that is the definitive of manhood in this particular environment in which you inherited. Right? And I'm listening to you speak. And, you like, the state told me I was an organizer. And
They reaffirmed
it. They reaffirmed it, right?
Yes.
But in that Supermax, there's a level of structure. And like you said, my greatest cellmate was me. You know what I mean? And I'm just sitting at I know who y'all daddies is. Right? And they some heavy people. Whichever perspective you choose, they were still heavy people. You understand? And there's a level of discipline and self-reflection and all the shit that happened in that cell that occurred with my daddy too. And I like to think I got a lot of that structure just because my daddy was in that house. I got a lot of that self-reflection because my daddy was in that house.
Yeah.
Not only was my daddy in my house, because of the kind of man he was, there was other men in that tribe that reflected that, even though they wasn't the man he is.
Yeah.
They just from different worlds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it created an identity and a philosophy in me. Right? That I can't deny, and people follow me, whether I ask for it or fucking not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking about Amos Wilson's statement. You cannot be a man unless you master the environment in which you inherit. Right? And when I think about a lot of this, I'm thinking about the footwork and then when I'm thinking about it just from the standpoint of preservation of culture. Right? And I think about what capitalism is. I don't give a fuck about preserving culture. Right? Matter of fact, it's probably anti-preservation of culture because it would cheat itself of capital.
Yeah.
Right? And we are the most affected by those white ideas. Right? And part of the dysfunction and disruption, or a leading part, is the destruction of our family. And I guess this thought came to mind because Chance just put out a new album. And one of the songs on the album is like No More Old Men. And it's little trinkets of shit like Mr. Murray ain't riding the bus, so you can't talk to the little homie in front of it. It's little shit that we don't even pay attention to.
Or even that old man is gonna be no more.
He
talking about, what's the track you talking about? Because he talking about Hoover and the track when he said like that old man ain't gonna be no more. Like,
but we
all
of
lose.
These reference points.
Yeah, we gonna lose.
They gone.
Yeah, that's institutional knowledge. We gonna lose.
Absolutely. But again, I'm just hearing. When I started smiling, when Herb started talking to Boobie, I was smiling because you was yelling and the passion. You're the only motherfucker that been on here other than me that talk like that.
Now think you're a 20-year-old, right? And he coming at you like this, and guess what? Guess what his response was? Nah, like, I got you. Thank you for correcting me.
Yes. I'm in Detroit. I'm in Gary.
Not how most 20-year-olds react.
Man, it's a video they got going, you know what I'm saying, and they got me talking, and I watched the comments. I'm in front of the wall, and I watched certain people say, man, he's so angry. Somebody said, no, he's passionate. And I said, just even that, you know how we dialogue with each other. You know what I'm saying? The way we communicate with each other. I was in Pete's. I don't know commercial.
Even before you get to that, I just want to say one thing.
Okay, go ahead. Get on with your
right?
Yeah.
I sent y'all that video. I said, what y'all noticed in that video today? And it was men and women talking. And it was a conversation about masculinity and femininity. And I asked y'all, and it was a rudimentary ass conversation that happens all the time. I don't give a fuck about the conversation.
Yeah.
What I was asking about was the behaviors of the men and the women. So when you get loud and you aggressive, I don't feel no kind of fucking way about that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the reason the 20-year-old does is because he's been confined to a world without fucking men.
Man, let me jump in. Let me jump
in.
I'm in the parking lot the other day. This little brother walked up on me, 20 years old. He talking. He said, man, I'm working for some sort of energy. He said, it's free. I said, that ain't free, little brother. We around the corner from Ground Zero. We around the corner where the assassination occurred at. I said, hold on, you're 20 years old? And I'm talking to him, and he don't even know the disrespect. He said, I said, man, Chairman was assassinated. He like, people get killed every day. And it was a sassiness to him. It was
sassiness he was
man. I'm gonna tell you where he came from. I followed it. I'm gonna tell you man. This happened 2 days ago. So I'm talking, and he didn't even how he communicated. He was like, I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I said, damn. So I'm talking to him, and I'm going, and I could see another arena it getting antagonistic. The way his dialogue was. So what I did was, he walked away. So I'm talking to him. I said, let me bounce. I said, I'm telling him what the history. He has another guy. He said, man, I said, ask him. He said, oh yeah, that's Champ. He said, matter of fact, that's his son. So now he's like, damn. Now he's feeling embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It's a climate now. It ain't just me. So he go to another person. They say, oh yeah, you're black. So now he's humble now. So I pull up. I'm talking to him. His auntie or mother, or whoever she was, right there. I pull up. Say, hey, little brother, I can't even talk to him. She in the fit. She don't say. I said no. She said, well, I was the school didn't teach. I said no. I ain't no issue with ignorance. I said it was an arrogance with the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? The problem. She said, well, we talk to everybody. I'm trying to talk to him. I said, not to the police, to the judge. I said, not to the white folks. And it messed up. And I was trying, I see the time. When I got out the car to hug him, she jumped right in front of it. Oh, we don't know what you on. I said, man, tragic. I could see her damage. You know what I'm saying? And the deal is to acknowledge, it's this thing we working on to the farm, fragile farm, Fraser. Taking the children down there, I say, listen, I want everything down to, I want to make sure their phones die at a certain time when they get down there. I say, I want they can't come to the, no, literally, I want everything straight. I want them, no charges. Man, get down there. I say, can't call mom and them. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, somebody asked me, say, how did you? I said, I learned lessons from his legacy on the man was supposed to be, but I also, you know what I'm saying, environment, you know what I'm saying, I learned how to shave like ear hustling to some cats, you know what I'm saying? But that thing up there, and then I left there, I went to the juvenile detention center. When I walked in, God be my witness. There was 6 youngsters in there. I told each one, when I walked in, one of them, I seen his body language. I seen his, you know what I'm saying? And I was talking to the other ones. And somebody else jumped in, so I said, oh, I said, I'm like, I don't know how much time I got with these youngsters. This is premium gas. I don't just throw it around on lawnmowers. I say, on him, this, you know what I'm saying? I hate to say that. When I was locked up, it was certain people I would pick. They told me if I get caught passing a book, I'm going to Supermax, you know what I'm saying, I'll get transferred. Certain guys I would pick. They said, man, why you get him there? I said, man, listen, man, stakes is high. Stakes is high. I got to pick my moves, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem about them taking me out the game. But I want to make sure, I look at, they try to get the Vice Lords, take out Champion Free, try to get the Stone, they try to do that. For them to come in their uniforms at 4:30 in the morning, I said, his tombstone, the police shoot up every December the 4th.
I just mentioned that.
I love it. Somebody said, Champion, I said, I'm honored. I'm honored. I said, so what my moves, I'm picking, but to put that patrol together. I said, but they have to stabilize our community. No, let me be very clear. This ain't no attack on our sisters either, though. Let me be very clear.
Yeah, I'm
let me be very clear. There's no attack on. It's the system who strategically exploit the contradiction. You know what I'm saying? They even said, man, destabilize us, man. You know what I'm saying? They say an orphan horse is the most difficult horse to raise. They say an orphan horse is the most difficult horse to raise. It don't even know how to trot. And I tell people, I say, when we destabilize, you take them, like I say with James Amos. The examples, just the image. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes just the image alone. You know what I'm saying? I tell some of my comrades, I said, listen, man, it was some people who I know contradictions with them in the Black Panther Party. I pleaded to do what this one do. I said, listen, man, could you just be quiet? Because I want the world to know what you really is.
But that's why I asked you too about like because you said we got to be careful about how we define black, right? So Orlando Patterson got this term natal alienation, like an orphan horse is the most difficult horse to raise, but we are orphan people. We have been we have experienced natal alienation, right? So metaphorically, like the umbilical cord of Mother Africa has been severed. Right, and so we are a people who have tried to make a way in a land that was not meant for us. And that's why I was asking you, like, so are you saying that black across the water ain't black here?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Black is black, but we are, just like in Africa, black ain't black though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A Nigerian and a Ghanaian ain't the same thing. I'm a Nigerian, he's a Ghanaian.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think the reason why we even align with the orphan kind of concept is because in the construct of this white supremacist, just like you said about the footwork kings and queens.
Yeah.
Right? We're looking for exceptions through the lens of the dynamic of power, right? We can't find beauty in our struggle because someone else says it's ugly. In my opinion, we the greatest motherfucking iteration of blackness that ever walked this planet. Right? But every time we mention ourselves, go to Black History Week in any goddamn school in the city of Chicago. Right? They got Martin Luther King and African kings and queens. Fuck out of here. I don't want to hear that shit. Because I can name 20 niggas from last year that's cold. Right? But the shorties can't. Right? The shorties can't name Martin Luther King today. Right? They don't know who Malcolm is for goddamn sure. Right? Stokely, all these people on these shores.
But that's why celebrating, right, Chairman Fred, year after year after year is important.
No, I completely
because what if we
agree.
had a 21-year-old right now who's like nah, like we need to improve black medical outcomes for black people on the south side and west side of Chicago. Well, what if we had a shorty who nah, we got to do more for our people. Like, we got to feed these kids hungry.
I'm with
you know what I'm saying? Like a 20-year-old like to do that. But before we started, you said like, can we bring in Mook the Milk Monster? Like that, my baby is 9 months old. But like while I was doing this work last summer, I was big and pregnant, and it's never lost on me a conversation that I had with Chairman. Or actually, it's something that he shares openly. Like we talk about the assassination of his father, but we never talk about the fact that Deborah Johnson, who's now Mother Akua, was laying right next to him and was eight and a half months pregnant, right? So we have to have more gender expansive conversations when we talk about state violence. And that also, so there's a lot I want to say, but we got to talk. So one of the things that Chairman says is like, when they snatched his mother up and made her listen to the finality, right? Like the rest of the shots that went into Chairman Fred, they also put a revolver to her stomach. And so his introduction to police terrorism, to state terrorism, right? Not just police brutality, was in utero. Right? And so I thought that was in my mind a lot while I was doing that work and pregnant. I wanted my child to, he was born into the struggle. So there's a scene in Judas and the Black Messiah when he gets out of jail and he puts his hand on her stomach, right? So when you were released, it's like this is that baby. Yeah. Right? Now this baby has been passed the baton and has to finish that work. Right? And so when I was doing this work, I'm like, man, my child is hearing all these stories. My child is receiving political education in utero, right? I don't want my child's her first experiences to be state terrorism. I want my child's first experiences to be in resistance to state terrorism. And I'm just praying that Mook the Milk Monster, because she has that blueprint on her life, right? He came to her christening. Right, so it's not just I give my child back to Jesus, but while we here and we walking and we experiencing all these material conditions, right? I need for the other calling on her life to be black liberation, black resistance, right? And so that was the other blessing, right? In me doing that work, she's developing a consciousness in utero, and I don't know what it's gonna, if it's going to.
I guarantee you it will.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to manifest to be, but I'm just praying that it's going to be something that's going to contribute to the black liberation struggle.
Yeah, I guarantee you that it will. I think that's a very, very real thing. I don't think that Chairman Fred Jr. becomes Chairman Fred Jr. merely because his father was Chairman Fred Sr.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, Michael Jordan's son don't become the greatest basketball player in the world just because your daddy Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But I think having entered the world in such traumatic experience, there's no way, obviously you don't fucking remember that, but there's no way that's not encoded.
But the body holds memory.
Night. That's what I'm saying.
The body holds
mentally,
memory.
But there's no way that's not encoded. That's the trauma that your mother had that night.
Tell him that story. Tell him that story.
After the movie came out, we didn't recognize that the movie came out. Me and my mother, every day to this day, wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
God dang.
Every day.
Yeah.
God dang.
I thought she used to go do a bathroom to 4:30 to this day. I took on this morning, every day. Yeah.
Me too. I'll be nursing. But look, but the body, you feel me? The body. No, but speaking of intellectual thuggery, Claudine Rankin has this book called Citizen, right? And so and she's talking about Serena Williams and how she has to exist quite literally within the lily white lines. Remember when she crip walked or whatever, and white people was pissed in the whitest stage on earth almost, right? Yeah. Culturally. And so what she argues is that she had been through so much shit and her body was retaining. The body, she says the body holds memory and all she calls it objectionable passes she experienced, that was her metabolizing, right? That anchor. So for me, I took that same theory and I grafted upon the Chicago Footwork, saying these shorties the gang violence, the intracommunal violence they experience, the violence within their homes because of, white supremacist factors, I will argue, and everything that they experience, their body is consuming that shit. And when they footwork in them circles, they are metabolizing, right, those oppressive structures, even if it's intracommunal violence, they metabolizing that shit, right? And so that is why I think that Chicago Footwork is a perfect cultural art form in this very moment, right? Because we get to express ourselves when normative modes of expression are being taken away from us, right? They're taking away literally our repertoire. Every word that we use to define our existence is being literally taken away. But now we have this cultural art form to speak back to state power, right? I'll give you an example. One of the guys I work with, I ain't gonna say his name. I was gonna say I ain't William O'Neill, but I don't know how that'll go over. And but I ain't gonna say his name. But it was during the riots of 2020, and he was just downtown trying to get to the Gold Coast or something, and the police was tired of the shit. Right. So they singled him out. They hit him with a baton. So he I bet I'm gonna get up on this police car, and he footworked. He I wasn't gonna do anything, so I interviewed him. He was to get the full story, because the footwork community, they arguing boy, your works was weak as hell on that car. That wasn't the point, y'all. God damn. The point was that he used his body and movement and Chicago Footwork to speak back to state power, to give state power a royal fuck you, right? Yeah. And it's why that? Why your body? Why footwork? that was you know, that's what he came up with in that moment.
That's how I battle.
You feel me?
To Boobie's point about them kind of colonizing our whole existence, we got all these West Side brothers in the room today. Culver's just publicly announced that they're now selling
The gyro cheeseburger?
burger.
Oh my God.
Fuck me all the way up.
Oh my God.
They have a national commercial for the Vice.
Did you see that gyro meat?
Oh my God! I said these motherfuckers here.
That shit.
Man.
You can't
Oh
stop
my
them.
God.
No, man. Hey, it's like fashion. Hey, catch it when it distinguish that time period. You know what I'm saying? To say, man, ooh, this, like when it's ours, you know, and be able to smell it. You know what I'm saying? They got it. They call, you know what I'm saying? Even language with us, man.
They got it.
They got it. And it's a different. We got to be on the point. We got to recognize the taste. And all this ain't ours no more. You know what I'm saying? Or certain languages, you see certain, they ain't footwork.
Even when you see like the, you know, like the out of towners, you see the people from you know, Europe, anywhere in Europe footworking. Be like, yeah, they footworking, but something missing. Like that shit ain't got lemon pepper.
Yeah.
But that is because footwork comes from a very specific kind of struggle in Chicago, right? So one of the guys, King Charles, said, like, man, I done been in Brazil, in the favelas in Brazil, these kids footworking with no shoes on, next to machetes and ARs and shit, because it's a real internal war there, right? And we live in our own war, right? And it shows up in a very specific kind of way. There's a certain kind of aggression. So one of the things that like the out-of-towners got to learn when they come to Chicago to footwork, it's not just the moves, it's the aggression. You're going to lose every fucking round. I don't care how raw you going if you don't have that same aggression.
It's energy. You can feel it.
That's literally in my sizzle reel. The energy here, it's aggressive. Somebody says that in my sizzle reel for the film.
You can learn to dance, but do you know when to pull somebody's shirt up though? Do you know when to do that or not? Like,
but you even the moves they use against each other when they battle and they shooting each other, they doing DDTing each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's aggressive because like they've been bred to be aggressive in the city. But what if we took that same aggression and turned it against the state? How do we get there?
Yeah,
that's because of problem. I did a remix on YouTube that's on I don't like man. I took that and put some politics. It's on YouTube. Man, the posers over there sweating them guys in the old block. So they better not repeat that song no more. You know what I'm saying? Any phenomenon that we take, you know what I'm saying, and make it work in our interest. You know what I'm saying? Hey, because it's okay. How can we stop it? Co-op. They come for it, man. They come for it.
And there's no holds barred, man. It's funny, man. Mickey House years ago had a record called Liquor Store. Right? They legitimately blackballed Mickey House from every opportunity ever.
So
this is, for lack of a better word, he was a local rapper.
Right.
You would never think that they would pay that much attention. No. This shit gets no burn.
You get it at no level.
You get no burn.
You get it at no level.
No level.
When I coached high school football, school started with a U. So we used the U that Miami used on their side of their helmets. Colors was different, but we used that U. Fucking high school football. What the fuck University of Miami give a fuck about this for? I mean, damn if they didn't send us a cease and desist. Like, and I know that's more capitalist, but it's just like, damn, like, y'all gotta have y'all on every look like.
But they go hand to hand.
Exactly. Listen, man, we gotta get towards wrapping this up. I'm glad both of y'all came. We really appreciate y'all.
Man, I always enjoy y'all, man. People of my ilk.
Hey, August 30th. August 30th. You know, you'll see my crew, the young people I spoke of, perform between the 1 and 2 o'clock hour. 2337 West Madison.
West Monroe. / Chairman Fred Hampton Jr.
Okay, that part. And then 2337, right? And the second part, we want all full workers to come out at least between 4 to 5:30, but after that, if you want, it's going to be a stage, it's going to be vendors, right, music, and come and use your body to, you know, elevate the legacy and preserve the legacy of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr.
And you starting off at the Chicago River?
Yeah, I'm 9 in the morning, be at Chicago River. We want this to be an annual thing.
Where about?
I don't know exactly what I'm going to be at, because this is my first time doing
this.
Hey,
we got to make
Whack in Michigan.
We got to
make it official.
The fish going to be healthy. We got to make sure we don't. Do not to the fish, bro. I'm an environmentalist. He know it.
That's true.
Okay, I get some.
We figured it out. We'll find some healthy way to down the road.
Some organic charcoal or something.
Yeah, man, we gotta say
some fish.
You know, we got. Hey, he
Black
know
Panther
I'm for sending this message, right? We talked about the symbolism of water, man. Ta-Nehisi, you mess with Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you have that.
You're not a Baldwin fan. You're not a Baldwin fan. If you're a
I'm
Baldwin
a Baldwin fan for sure.
So you gotta
but
mess
see,
with Ta-Nehisi.
Ta-Nehisi ain't the real deal though. He can write like it, but he's not the real deal.
Man,
That's my
his
problem.
novel, The Water Dancer,
Beautiful.
beautiful.
His writing
Fucking
is beautiful. It's nothing like it. But I've also talked to the man.
But okay. But look, the Water Dancer.
Never meet your hero.
Never meet your heroes.
All right, the Water Dancer, G. The ways in which water has been used to link this sort of historical gap, this natal alienation that we experience. How do we get back to water was the means of liberty for black people, right? So like when he said that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. The river.
So organic. I have organic charcoal.
Organic, you know what I'm saying? Something we gotta say to
We're gonna
finish.
leak a bunch of Sharpies.
August 30th, y'all. Dan the boy gonna be down there doing that, man. Cause turn the water black.
And then what time we starting out west?
Out west, noon, 12 o'clock noon, high noon. Gonna be right there.
High noon, right?
Yep, high noon. Yep. High noon, 12 o'clock, 2037 West Monroe / Chairman Fred Hampton Way. Yep.
All right.
Footwork saved my life.
Footwork,
I don't know why I didn't wear my shirt today. I knew you was coming.
You should have. He was trying to have the leaders.
Let me commend her. Hey, Doc, and them youngsters. I'm still learning about this phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? And we always try to be innovative. How can we get the word out? They did a phenomenal with the presentation on December 4th.
Mm-hmm.
They go, hey, y'all come on out. Make sure y'all be out there December 4th. They're gonna do it. Madison, California, what they out there doing? And some people, they first image, there gotta be some fighting going on.
Right.
Be cool. Main thing is don't panic. It's footworking, y'all.
No, panic, because that shit can't get it.
Okay.
It can't go that panic, because
I got to connect you with my niece, man.
it's going to be heated.
The little Moo, the little girl that got the on top of guys,
Yeah,
that's my little niece, man.
For real?
Footworking, yeah.
Oh, dope. Yeah, so footwork and juke is merging again with hip hop. You know, we saw it before, but
juke was the
So juke and footwork have an interesting marriage. Some people will argue that, like, I would argue that it's like kind of like the predecessor to like the battle culture in Chicago footwork, but like you still call Chicago footwork music, juke music, right? But like when you battle and you ain't finna be like put on some juke music, right? But juke still had that 4 on the floor format, that pattern. But footwork music is more embraced.
Was footworking. I couldn't footwork, so I was over there juking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They was holding up the t-shirts. I'm like, hold me up. Like, hold me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that type of deal. You mentioned the environment thing. I do want to get this in real quick. You did a great job with the environmental piece from the gardens.
Yes. Shout out to my brother Mad Dog. He lost his mom due to the environmental racism that targets Allgale Gardens. It's been declared that the land on which the garden sits has the highest concentration of toxicity in the nation.
It's highest level from a landfill.
Landfills, underground storage tanks, you name it. Highest levels of like respiratory illnesses, cancers, right? And so many people have perished. And the mother of environmental justice, it started right in Allgale Gardens. She lost her husband when they moved here. She like, why everybody dying from cancer, right? And a lot of my friends grew up in Allgale Gardens, and so we use Chicago Footwork to tell that story as well.
It was great. It was very, very well told, and it just shined a light on something that, I mean, it's obvious and it's there, but you don't think about it. You know what I mean?
Because when you think of like environmental racism, you're thinking of like recycling plastic and shit. One of the lines that I had, one of the youth, because I wrote the showcase, is the water is browner than the line Sexy Red said or whatever, something like that. I don't know, I can't remember it exactly, but
balloon knots.
Facts.
That's something later.
So that's why we don't want that river to be like the Chicago River,
Well, I was gonna say something ignorant, but okay.
Maybe we do.
Before we let y'all go. That's kind of along the lines I was going. But before we let y'all go, we got to play Dinner Time. Okay. Dinner Time is something that we do here. A bit of a nod to Bump. But what Dinner Time is, we ask every guest that comes on the show to go back throughout history, any point, and pick 2 people, dead or alive, that you would want to sit down and have dinner with. Have a conversation for a given purpose, whatever the purpose you deem it to be. The caveat is, this being Herb Tou, intellectual thuggery, one of the people you choose to have dinner with has to represent that of an intellect, as you define it. The other has to represent that of a thug as you define it. So any two people throughout history, dead or alive, dealing with you for a purpose, one intellect, one thug. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., who you inviting to dinner time?
And okay, first I was asking somebody on man, you just with that requirement, I just changed it though, man.
Which requirement?
You said about the intellect. And
as you define it, not as anybody else ever defined it.
I wouldn't define her as either as an intellect or a thug. So I'm going through stuff in my life right now. I really want to sit down with her so bad. Claudia Colvin. I want to sit down with her so bad. Claudia Colvin. Yeah, Claudia Colvin. For those who might be tapping in with us, y'all, the sister who refused to give up her seat before Rosa Parks. You know. And she's still alive in New York. She's about 85 years old. I really want to sit down with her. Yeah.
So, I mean, as I understand her decision, I would say that's very thug. That's very gangster. Okay. But maybe you view it as an intellect. So which one is she representing in your story?
Don't put me in you know what I'm saying? So, man, I when I come back after talking to her, let me get it to you. Yeah.
All right, who else is coming to dinner?
I don't know what is in my mind right now. Maybe a conversation I just had the other day. Dessalines.
Oh my, you took my.
Oh man, what?
Damn. I mean, Tucson, was cool and all, but you.
He said the same thing.
Confused about who fuck I am. My daddy named me Tucson. I'm Dessalines.
He said the same thing.
Cooper Top Boulake.
Yeah.
Dessalines told me, hey man, they sent a letter over there. Hey, make the deal.
What he say?
Cooper Top Boulake.
Tell me what that means.
Offered their heads and burn
Kill
their
all them
houses.
motherfuckers.
Kill all them motherfuckers.
All the whites.
That's what I told the man when he was right here. Kill all them motherfuckers.
Yeah, Doc,
No, that's real though. That's what I was thinking about.
all
Man.
the whites was my man.
Because I'm thinking, all right, like who I want to sit down with. It has to be somebody whose work and whose life work was dedicated to like the apex of black liberation, right? That's the best example. You feel me? So yeah, that. But since you took mine, I'm gonna go like immediate history. I'm gonna go and it's not somebody I would want to sit down with. It's somebody I have had the pleasure of sitting down with. It would be my grandfather and what he was able to amass. And in the time that he was on this earth and the ways in which he, killed the real estate game with an 8th grade education, amassed 13 residential properties, ran the numbers game, employed his people, outsmarted the Italians, and and with that feud, like that, the man, I need to be writing a book on him before somebody else does. He was a giant in my household. He was a giant in my household, but he was also a giant, on the south side of Chicago. But intellectually, I think Baldwin. I don't think no other writer.
Anybody who doesn't know, do you?
James Baldwin. Oh, my grandfather was Walter Moore, affectionately known as Blood. Oh, that camera. He told me. Yeah, I would definitely invite my grandfather back to this realm. Just to continue giving me the game. We did interview him. I was grateful to have done so when he was lucid and, still remembering everything. Like, him sitting down with Muhammad Ali and he was friends. My mom and my auntie was in one of his weddings. He was friends with some of everybody. And so he was able to really learn the game so that he could advance economically and move his family and his people forward in life, like despite the confining structures that he faced. And the other person would be James Baldwin. Like, I don't think there's a writer that understood the Black freedom struggle. And I mean, I think that some Black feminists have issues with Baldwin, but I just appreciate the nuanced ways that he wrote about Black freedom from an international perspective, from a domestic perspective. That it would be Baldwin.
Both of y'all bypassed our intellect and thug label on this game, but we're going to let y'all have it because we love y'all.
What we do? How?
Because y'all didn't label neither one of the people.
Oh, Baldwin would be the intellect, and my grandfather running the numbers game, and you know, and
I didn't want to make that assumption for you because I wanted to be as y'all defining each.
I mean, his name was Blood. They called him.
Hey, can I say one thing to you? Don't, when we say, I know we come from a people that we can acknowledge different views, because Western society, it makes it like, how can I say it, one cause is dispensable of another.
Mm-hmm.
We have an array of people that, like music, you know what I'm saying, with your mood or what you're going through in your life that you might tap in. It's so many, so don't, because a lot of times we hear, I said, we hear different names, and this system tells us that you got to chop this tree down, you know what I'm saying? Man, you have an array of people, you know what I'm saying?
My brother always clarifies when we go into dinner time that we've named we not only set that game up that way, but that's the tag of the show because we believe that it requires both are a requirement in this fight. Yeah. It's intellect and it's thug. It's intelligence and it's gumption.
It's brains and brawn.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Let me say that's something that they especially this system told us to one at the other. You know what I'm saying?
You can't get a Shea without a Castro. You can't get a Tucson without Dessalines.
Real talk. No doubt.
Blood don't be blood by only being the brawn. There's a lot of brain that goes into defeating the Italians and taking over the mark. Like it's both ends. So we're not saying that this person is only a thug.
You know what I'm saying?
And we're gonna say that because we talked to absolutes. We cut off. No,
that's fact. I mean, your father. A lot of gangster thug activity to stand up to that.
Don't get that right. Don't twist like he just came and said "Kumbayas."
You don't publicly beef with TPD without having guns.
No cojones.
On the real, you gotta have them. You gotta have them. We gotta go, but we thank y'all so much.
Y'all, before we go, Clint Fitz, y'all producer, y'all, man, this whole setup here, y'all, man, gotta come. Need y'all at the Hampton House. I love this setup, man.
Thank you.
I love this.
Thank y'all for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's an open door to y'all. Y'all come through whenever y'all want. That's nothing.
I love this energy, love this setup.
I think somebody chose you for the dinner time before, right?
Somebody chose Chairman Fred Sr. At dinner time before.
His dad.
Yeah.
His dad.
No, I remember.
Really?
Really? Well, you probably be right. Yeah.
Hey, but
wouldn't be incorrect.
But I choose Malcolm too.
Well,
I choose Malcolm as well.
I choose for
which seat?
I think that Malcolm is an autodidact, right?
I agree.
So like, I just had the pleasure of interviewing one of his daughters. And one of the stories that she tells is like, no, we think that he went into jail and came out, he went into jail this drug addict and who didn't know. No, like, do you know who his father was? Do you know who he had access to? Like, he just lost his way for a second, but he was already that. But like, he was an autodidact. So I think Malcolm was both.
I agree with you. I think most of these people are both.
I know we finna get out of here, man, but I want you all both to know I appreciate you, right?
Sentiments are reciprocal, bro.
And outside just appreciating you all's presence, right, to the whole totality of the conversation we've been having today, I'm going to start outlawing answering with King or Malcolm.
You get it all the time?
Yeah, we don't get. You can't go past it. And then you can't tell me nothing about King or Malcolm.
Yeah, but
right?
Yeah.
And part of the I fully appreciate those people.
Yeah.
But part of the dynamic or why we do this part of the show and why I always name different people, right? It's because I want to introduce you to the different people.
Other names, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, how culture works, how legacy works, how solidifying and fortifying history and culture.
Or you could say if you choose Malcolm, why not Garvey?
Sure.
So we can expand the conversation.
Malcolm and King ain't rocking no more.
All right.
You gotta tell me something different.
I get it.
All right, we got to bounce, man. Cannot do so without giving the major props and shout out to P.I. P.I. Appreciate you for doing all the hard work.
P really been working. P was working last night. He was working today. Look at P doing his thing.
P didn't put the satin.
He got rainbow bright color coordinated set over there.
Hey, he fixed my mic about 4 times.
Oh, so as for the setup, I need to draft some of y'all team too then, right?
Hey, slow down.
Look, hey.
Everything.
Hey, speaking of co-opting,
You know what I'm saying? I got colonizers around here.
It's a business chair. It's a business chair.
What did Brandon Johnson want when he came here right there to show? He was like, y'all got to put me in on the on the capitulate shirts.
Yeah. Cut me in.
We made a word called.
Hey, actually, I'm like, damn, I need that in my office. That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
It's that time for us to go.
You gotta.
Next time, no. Everything we do here is collaborative. So I mean, the show is called Herb Tou.
That's a real nice camera.
Yeah,
The show is called Herb Tou. Obviously, our faces and names on it, but it don't happen without P. It don't happen without E. Like this is a collaborative effort. So major shout out to PI. Major shout out to E.
I'm proud of everybody. Everybody was a part of Herb Tou and this platform. You know, we need this in the city.
Herb Tou. No
respect. I'm proud
Appreciate
of y'all.
Special thanks again to Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., to Dr. Shadawn Boobie battle. Mook's mama.
Mook the milk monster.
Mook the milk monster. I can't believe it's 9 months already. That's crazy.
9 months been a
Damn,
walk.
for real.
Yeah.
Out the wall.
This gonna be footwork.
The footwork.
Because you know I footworked at 8.5 months pregnant, so like.
I did see you up there.
Them rhythms in her body, you know.
I was at Crane High School that night. You was up there getting busy.
I don't know what happened. They say footwork music is incantatory. That shit reminds me of like.
Hold up.
Oh, it pulls you. It has a gravitational pull like voodoo.
Books over there.
Yeah, gravitational pull like voodoo. You could be in church. You hear some tracks come on you.
Yeah, it do that.
You know, and so I just couldn't resist it. I had not danced, my whole pregnancy for real, and I just couldn't resist it. I'm glad my baby is cool.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Got busy. That's gonna also be encoded into her DNA. But
facts.
again, thank all of y'all so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with at least one person. For two, I'm Herb. Y'all be good to each other.
Thank
Peace.
you. Thank you.
Respect, right on.